Chef Cindy
Yeah,
is
I'm
prepping
over here.
away.
I'm
She's
chopping.
chopping and prepping, so I'm just
chopping.
gonna move this around, make sure the angle's cool.
Okay, hey, what's up? Welcome back to the kitchen. I'm so excited about working with you today.
Is this a good angle, Mom?
I think this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm going to be like all over the place right now. So right now what I'm doing is I'm prepping up my vegetables, and this is going to last for a cup today and tomorrow, because Rose and we figured we eat almost 3 pounds of vegetables.
2.5 pounds each.
Yeah,
of
but
fruit
you
and
got
veggies.
to have a little more because you don't eat all of it, right? So but you have to buy 3 pounds.
Oh, you gotta buy more, yes.
Okay, you have to buy a little bit more. So Chef Cindy here, in case you don't know me. I'm going to take a deep breath.
Always.
I am a culinary nutrition teacher at Mount Diablo High School. Also, I was the previous owner of the Sunrise Bistro that my son took over now, but he's my son, I still go in, I still help them, and I consult. But my whole intent was to get people to eat healthier. And now with the coronavirus, there was a big article that came out in CNN, featured it, that they're saying that 80% of the people in the United States adults have some kind of predisposition because of our lifestyle, the way that we eat. And 80% of our disease is lifestyle: smoking, drinking too much, eating processed fast food. We get plenty of calories, but they aren't the calories that we need. We need more nutritious food. I was 100 pounds heavier than I am now. I've kept that off over 20 years. I am filled with energy. I'll be 65 years old next month, 65 years young. So what I'm going to be talking about this week, and I'm going to cook and talk, is about the 6 essential nutrients, which is what I teach at school. And the 6 essential nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals, and water. So the carbohydrates are anything that's grown, but they also include dairy into that, because lactose is in all dairy. So that's also a protein and a carbohydrate, and quite frankly, it has a fat too. So when I'm cooking, I make sure, like I said, we eat almost 2.5 pounds of carbohydrates a day, fruits, veggies, a little bit of grain and potato starch in there, but mostly it's fruits and vegetables. I eat 8 ounces of protein, 4 at lunch and 4 at dinner, and then I have a dairy. I have yogurt for breakfast. So I am getting in my food, I'm going to put this over here now, I'm going to spray. Okay, so I'm going to, of course, fat is lipids. They're one of the 6 essential nutrients. Your brain is mostly fat. So if you go fat-free, you are really doing a lot of damage to yourself, because there are fat-soluble vitamins that need to have fat in your body in order to break the vitamins down. There's water-soluble. That's something that you need to eat every day, and you get the water-soluble through your vegetables, as you do a lot of the fat-soluble vitamins too. So your vitamins B and C come from your vegetables, fruits, and veggies, and they are rich in here. So by eating these carbohydrates, you'll be getting your vitamins and all your minerals, because your minerals are what come from the ground, and we need certain amount of minerals. If you are off a mineral or a vitamin, there's all kinds of diseases and functions that will stop happening in your body. You'll develop diseases, you won't be able to fight them off, and you will have side effects from rickets, and in the old days when we didn't know about different kinds of vitamins and minerals, where they came from. So I'm trying to think while I'm doing this.
So is this green cauliflower and white cauliflower?
This is green, and they have different vitamins.
That's
in
right.
It.
Because the colors tell us what vitamins are in there.
Right, exactly. So I am putting this cauliflower on here now. Okay. And then I've got this bell pepper. these veggies that I've chosen, put together here, all take about the same amount of time in the oven. That's why I'm doing this. So I've got bell pepper, and bell peppers are high in vitamin C, but high in minerals. They have good mineral content too. So iron and anything that comes in the ground, all the different. Okay, so here is these are parsnips, and I've cut them like little French fries, and I'm going to put the parsnips out here. And then I've got carrots the same way. So I don't stack them, carrots and parsnips. Trying to get him on here right away. So that's good. So I put a little of the release, a little oil on the bottom. I'm going to spray it on the top. I'm going to put a little salt. Our salt is iodine salt. That is what keeps your thyroid in good condition. If you do not eat enough iodine, your thyroid will not function properly. Rose will go into more detail later about that. So I'm going to spray. So this is all just a little spray on the top. So iodine is also present as a mineral in your vegetables. Anything that's grown in the ground is going to have a little iodine in it. It's going to have a little mercury, which is, I mean, you don't want too much, but you need to have a little bit. You need to have a little iron, psyllium, all the different minerals in there. So I'm going to put my roasted veggies in here now. I've preheated the oven. I'm going to roast these for about 20 minutes.
What temperature are you at?
I'm at 400 degrees, and I'm on convection bake. So I'm going to clean this off. So I'm going to be putting my chicken in there. So what I like to do with chicken is I like to put a little color because I'm going to use the fine meat. So I've got my pan going. I'm going to spray a little bit of oil in here. I'm going to put a little bit of salt.
Oh, come right over here.
Come right over here. And I'm going to put a little rosemary. And I like to toast my herbs and spices a little bit. And then I've got my thigh meat right here, waiting for this to heat up. So 6 essential nutrients. So we've already got our carbohydrates in there. Anything that's grows from the ground, because that's where you're going to get your vitamins and minerals. So vitamins, minerals, and water are things that are existing in carbohydrates and some of your protein. And you can see there's a little bit of liquid here with this chicken because it's got your amino acids in there. And it also has, as far as your protein goes, if you don't eat enough protein, you will not be able to build muscle mass, and you will not be able to have a good immune system to fight things off. So if you're eating a lot of processed food that doesn't have nice lean protein, and you're not eating enough carbohydrates that are good with the vitamins and minerals, you will not be able to stay healthy. So this is all done. You can hear when I put it down there. I don't know if you can hear the sizzle. And what I'm going to do is just put a little brown on this. Like I said, I eat 4 ounces of protein at lunch and at dinner. And I eat about 1.5 pounds of fruit and vegetables at lunch and at dinner. Now, I have my fruit breakfast and lunch. I don't have a fruit at dinner. I have a salad and I have vegetables. And I have an 8-ounce salad and I have 6 ounces of cooked or roasted or steamed or sauteed vegetables. At lunchtime, I have a bigger meal. That's my largest meal. So I have my grain. I have a cup of brown rice or a cup of potatoes, sweet potatoes or regular potatoes. I have 6 ounces of some kind of cooked vegetable, mixed veggies if I want. And then I have 4 ounces of a cooked protein. And then I have a fruit also. So that's my biggest meal. That's when I need the most energy. And that's when I have the biggest appetite. at dinner time, as I'm kind of slowing down, I don't have a big meal then. I also do not drink any alcohol. I drink water. I'll have warm water or herbal tea because I want to keep myself. I keep thinking of what can I best do to feel the best that I can for as long as I can. I used to drink a lot of caffeine. I used to eat a lot of sugar. I used to eat a lot of carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates like cookies and cake. Oh, I couldn't wait to have dessert. Even though as I was younger, I wasn't overweight and I was able to process it, I still didn't feel good. So some people may say, hey, you know what, I'm overweight or my children aren't overweight. Doesn't necessarily show up on your body because you can be thin on the outside and actually be fat on the inside and not feel good, not have things running the way that it should. So I like to look good on the outside, even though I'm aging. And I also like to feel good on the inside. So I'm going to turn this meat over. So if you notice, when I did my produce first, because I don't want to cross-contaminate. So there can be bacteria here. Just assume always that all of your meats, all of your chicken have bacteria in it. They have E. coli or they have some kind of food poison that you could possibly get a food poisoning from. So I always keep my meat separate from when I'm doing my vegetables. And I always, after I handle any meats, I always wash my hands. And I always wash my hands with soap and warm water before I do anything with vegetables or get into the kitchen to cook. And I clean down all my counters. I just assume that something is growing there. That way I'm being preventative. And I always want to be doing preventative practices when I'm around food. So I'm going to put a little brown on this chicken. So I was going to pop this into the oven and finish it off, and I can anyway. As soon as this gets browned on both sides, I'm going to finish it off in the oven. Now, if you were having guests over and say you wanted to prep, sometimes I do that. I prep it ahead of time, and we do this in the restaurant too. We'll mark the chicken like this on one side, and then you bring it to room temperature, and then you put it in the refrigerator, and you can then put it in a high heat oven and finish it off. And it'll be perfectly good. It'll keep it. It makes it easier for you if you're having a large group of people over for dinner. Also, with your vegetables, you can prep them up, and then like I did, I just put them out on the pan. Now it takes about 20 minutes for them to roast. Make sure you preheat your oven. You have everything on the trays. You have your chicken ready to go. If your guests are going to be here in a half an hour, 45 minutes, and you want to be able to have the food fresh when they come out, you can think ahead of how long it's going to take, and then you just pop it in the oven. And that's what I love about roasting in the oven, having a complete meal, because you just stick it in the oven and you just can go and be with your guests or do other things. And I really encourage you to learn about roasting because it's something that's going to save you a lot of time and energy. Also, this is enough chicken, like I said, for myself and for Rose for today and for tomorrow. So I'm thinking of things that are going to keep me healthy, but are also not going to take up a lot of my time. So people, what they tell me all the time is, I don't have time to cook fresh. And I say, you don't have time to not be healthy. So you want to have maximum amount of energy. You want to be thinking always of the 6 essential nutrients, making sure that when you're eating carbohydrates. That should be 2/3 of what you eat. That there needs to be a nice protein. That you have some kind of fat. We put a little bit of oil in here, but the fat, I use that Pam spray because I want to use a really good oil that I'm going to take into my body because it's important that you have good fats to break down your vitamins, your fat-soluble vitamins, which are A, E, K, and D, they all are fat-soluble vitamins. You need to actually have enough fat in your body to break them down. They also are stored in your fat, and they can become toxic if you eat too many. So be careful with any supplements that you take, because if they're fat-soluble supplements, they're going to store in your body. Water-soluble, like vitamin C and vitamin B, you flush those out with your when you pee each day. So they can be flushed out. It's not a toxic buildup in your body. So be careful with supplements. I don't take a supplement. I eat a wide variety of colorful fruits and veggies, and I mix up my proteins too. Okay, so this I'm going to pop into the oven right now, and we're going to finish it off. So I'm going to show you this. You can see these things are starting to brown up right now. Got about another 10 minutes. I'm going to shut it up. And oh, that's my whole meal. So you can see I've got my vegetables.
Hold on, I got to
there.
put this down. This little computer's a little bit heavy.
Okay. So I have my protein. I have all of my carbohydrates, my veggies in there, and I'm going to start on my salad. So Rose, give me some good tomatoes here. We just got these from the garden. They're gorgeous. We are so lucky. Can I get a cucumber, Rose, and a little bit of lettuce? Oh, I'm loving this. Look at these. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. So I've got my organic greens here. I've got a wonderful, make sure that, you know, when you wash your produce, when you wash your produce, it's not to get off bacteria or anything like that. What I'm basically washing is to get dust off so that it just tastes real good. So I am going to cut the core out of this tomato here. And this will be so awesome. So we're just doing tomatoes and peppers today. Is there any cucumber in there, Rose?
But there is some snap peas.
Sure, snap peas are good. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can also grill your tomatoes, just slightly grill them. That'll be good. I'm going to take these nice yellow peppers. I'm going to take out the seeds, and I put, say, all of the core of my veggies, because don't forget that you need to use your food waste bin. We don't want things to go down the garbage disposal. I do not use a garbage disposal. It isn't good for the sewer system. So they want us to move in that direction, away from there. So use your food waste bin, especially if you don't have where they're picking up your food waste, but you have a green bin. If it's produce, you can put it right into your green bin. So I've got my beans, I've got my peppers. So I'm just gonna kind of just random chop these right here. And then I'm going to take my tomatoes. Ooh, this is going to be so delicious. Yum. I love this time of the year with all the fresh produce out there. And the tomatoes are just amazing. So if these tomatoes, I'm going to keep these in a little separate container, like a mini salad bar containers I've got going on. And if I don't use them in the next 2 days, I will take these and saute them up with some fresh basil, and I will put it over a piece of fish or chicken. Yeah. Oh gosh, these tomatoes are wonderful. Okay. So I store everything as I prep it up. These tomatoes are nice, gorgeous. So the knife I'm using, can I have the example knife over there, Rose? Right there? So everybody asks me, where do you get this serrated knife? It's my favorite. And it's a Dexter. And I got it at Cash and Carry in Concord. And it's called your 8-inch basic, called a sandwich knife. But I love to cut up and I don't have to sharpen this. I also have a chef's knife if I want to chop, but mostly I do a lot of slicing and I want to get through things quickly. And this is one of the best knives. So I suggest you get this. They're really good. This knife here has never been sharpened and it's 12 years old and it works really well. Okay, I'm gonna take this. So I'm going to get my salad bar stuff going. So this will last me a couple of days, these tomatoes. I'll go through them real quickly. So when I set out to put a salad together, I like to have everything done already. So I'm going to put these little snap peas in here. If you prep everything up, it makes it go quicker. And then I've got my little peppers. Okay, so I am going to put together my salad for today. Okay, got my little scale here. I'm going to take and zero it out, and I'm going to put, looks like a lot, but that is 1.5 ounces of greens. And then I'm going to put a few of these and a little bit of peppers. And then the best part, which is tomatoes, and they're heavier. Okay, I have got my so there's my salad. I don't know if you can see. It's got my tomatoes and everything, all my good carbohydrates in here. Very colorful. Waiting on my chicken and my veggies. They're almost done. Rose, can you hand me a pear, please? Yeah. Gosh, this is so fun cooking with you guys. I'm very excited. So I've got my pear. So I'm gonna take my pear, and I have this Instant Hot right here. I'm gonna need one. There's some in the freezer. I use my Instant Hot on my pear. Pop it in the microwave. Okay, so I'm going to core it. I just take out a little bit of the core in the center of my pear here. My pears usually are medium sized. They're anywhere from 6 to 7 ounces. I don't weigh fruit, but I make sure that I have an average, medium sized piece of fruit. I like to slice it thin. When I'm eating my meal, it takes 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes for your brain to go, I'm full. So when I slow my food down, then when I'm eating, I tend to feel very satisfied and not stuffed at the end. One of my biggest problems before is I got into eating really healthy, good food. I just ate way too much. So that's why I weigh and measure. It's really important to have portion control because I am a very quick eater. Most moms are after you have kids. Who has time to sit down and really enjoy a meal? It's really hard because I just got in the habit of just popping things in my mouth and keep going. So having things, my pear sliced up real small or my apple or whatever I'm doing, it causes me to have to slow down. having things separated, like I have my salad, I have my pear, my veggies and my protein. I have my veggies, my protein, and my grain will be on the plate. So I sit down and I just take a deep breath and I go, okay, you know, it's okay. I'm entitled to this meal. I'm not afraid when I'm looking, God, do I have too much, not enough? That's why portion control is really important. And I've weighed everything out, so I know I am entitled to all of this. And I know that it's going to be okay. It's not too much. It's not enough. I don't worry about, am I going to lose weight or gain weight? And that is one of the things that was really wreaked havoc on me my whole life. Um, from dieting. You know, it was like, well, why don't you just eat moderately? I had no clue what moderate was. So I come to it from how can I take best care of myself so that I feel good all the time? How can I make sure that I'm hitting all 6 essential nutrients? Well, I know that this is all carbohydrates. These are lots of fiber is going to be feeding the my intestines so that the good bacteria grows. I know that that's true for my fruits also. As I'm waiting to see what's happening here with my chicken and my vegetables, we'll go over here. Okay, so, oh my gosh, everything is done. I'm just going to check this chicken to make sure the temperature is right. So what I'm looking for is 155 on my chicken. Because we want to make sure that all the bacteria on this chicken is dead. And so we want to make sure we get it up to 155. And it looks like we are perfect. Perfect, perfect. Good. So I'm just going to set this to the side. I'm going to bring out I've got my salad all done. So I'm going to set this over here, and then I'm going to bring out my vegetables. And they look amazing. That's hot. So can you mix this together? I've got some quinoa and rice for my grain today. So right here is a little package. You can get this at Trader Joe's, and it comes in a little package. And this is quinoa. If you're in a hurry, which I was.
They have brown rice ones too.
They have brown rice and jasmine rice, and they have mixed grains, and they're good. And then I've got a little brown rice that's left over. One of the things that my husband used to tell me all the time, he'd say, Cindy, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good enough. So, you know, you got to go with the flow. If you want things to be perfect, you're going to be disappointed. If you want to be able to adjust, and, you know, we're going to come up against things like, you know, today with James and you know, not feeling well this morning, and a friend dropped off all of my grandkids, and everybody's here outside. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how are we going to handle this? And you know, things just have a way of working out when you let go. So I've got some quinoa and some brown rice. So I'm going to put that here right now, and I'm going to weigh out 6 ounces. And perfect. Got my 6 ounces of that. I'm going to pull out some veggies. They're done now. So here's my parsnips and my carrots. I hope you can see that. And I'm going to I've decided today I'm going to have a little bit of parsnips. I set this over here. And here's my cauliflower and bell peppers. Ooh, they look amazing. So I'm going to add a little bit of this cauliflower. A little bit of green, a little bit of white. Yum. Okay. I am set. And then I've got my chicken right here. And it's perfectly cooked. And I am going to chop up 6 ounces, 4 ounces, I'm sorry. Yum, it's so tender and moist. Okay, so here's our meal today, or my meal. So I've got my chicken, my parsnips, my grain here. I've got my salad, and I've got my pears. I am so excited. Here is my meal. So 6 essential nutrients. I've got my carbohydrates, which are my vegetables and my grain, my fruit and my salad. I have a little bit of protein here, 4 ounces of protein. In here is all my vitamins and minerals. I'm going to have a nice glass of water, and I'm going to add my 1 tablespoon of fat for my lipids. And I'm going to put that right here. And this is where you'll see me with my fat. I like to add and see where the fat is. So I hope you have a wonderful meal. This is really simple, easy, and we'll see you tomorrow.